Welcome back to the show, everybody. We've got Adam from XRP Cafe with us today. Oh, you're going to love it. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. We got the one and only. It's Adam from XRP Cafe. Adam, how you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing great today. Thanks for having me on the show, Brad.
Hey, man, thanks for you being on the show. Are you kidding? I knew you were coming to XRP Las Vegas, but when I saw you, because I didn't get to see everybody, there's a lot of people there, Adam.
It seemed like the turnout was just huge. Like, I love that you had the projects booths there. You had a nice area for like seating to see the speeches. And we got to see I got to see a lot of familiar faces, but a ton of unfamiliar faces too, and got to meet like just all of the community. And the community is so diverse, and it's just awesome to like see so many like really people enthusiastic about XRP.
Oh, it really was. It was so overwhelming. And we'll get to more of that in a second. But Adam, for people who don't know what you do, let them know what you do really quickly.
Yeah, so I'm the founder of XRP Cafe. I also have a Web3 infrastructure company called Honey Cluster that's going to be launching here in the next couple of months. And we also have XRPLedger, which is a Telegram trading bot specifically for the XRPL. So we're doing a lot of just a lot of building in general on the ledger and trying to solve a lot of these issues.
And, along with that comes funding for a lot of builders and developers out here. This has been a huge issue for a lot of people. And, I had many incredible conversations at XRP Las Vegas. And two of those conversations really stood out to me. Was one with Blockchain Backer, who was really explaining a lot of the observations that he feels are a divide in the community currently today. And then the other one was with you. And it was down by the pool at the after party. And I was so glad that we got a chance to connect and really discuss and talk about some of the things. And I'm looking around the pool and I'm looking at all these people. I'm like, where are the builders? We need to bring them in so we can get some funding and bring these two crowds together here. Like it's so obvious to me. But I also understand, Adam, that there is a divide in the community, right? And, a lot of people don't agree with like some of the points of view I have. Be very candid and frank about that, Adam, if you could.
Yeah, I feel like, there's a lot of nuances and opinion on why people think XRP is great. And I think there's a, kind of a divide within the community where, some people might disagree on, a message or something that doesn't resonate with them. And like a message being put out by the community or to the community that they think, they just don't agree with. And I think that's, kind of wrong. I think all of these nuances and all these opinions and just the sheer diversity of opinion within the XRP community is, what makes everything great. And everybody, has a different opinion. And that's something, but we can all, agree on one thing is that, XRP and the XRPL, we want to see the growth. We want to see people come together, and we want to see just, a massive outpouring of support for XRP.
Oh, 100%. And, and I want to speak to that too. And I want to level set for a lot of people who are busy exploring their ideas and building and being innovative and just being a builder every day. They don't get to follow the space every day, right? And it is important. And I say this and I mean every word of this. And I think anybody who knows me to even a slight degree understands I'm never going to say anything I don't really believe, right? Or at least,
absolutely, yeah.
Sincerely believe when I'm delivering something. So it's simply this. We all don't have to be here for the same reasons to fight for the same cause. That's the point, right? And to that point, every healthy market has a few things by definition, and that is market makers, market participants, and speculators. And make no mistake, I make up the speculator part. right? And so does a large
I as well.
and you as well, right? So we make up a large part of that, right? And now we don't have enough market makers and participants in this network, even though it's been around for more than a decade. I personally feel that the large part of that has been due to the fact that there is a case hanging over the head of Ripple and XRP itself that scares off innovation, that scares off all of these things. And I think also it's been very brilliantly calculated, if not accidentally brilliantly calculated by Ripple to not do a stable coin, or maybe they would be partnered with the Secret Service and the FBI right now like Tether is. I think it's smart on their behalf that they haven't pursued smart contracts, or they'd be staring down the Wells notice just like Ethereum is right now about being proof of stake. So, whether they intentionally avoided these things or accidentally avoided these things, I think it plays to their advantage to know that they've gone into the case with the SEC, not providing these other windows of legal opportunity to continue to sue. And I think that bodes well for us. I think it bodes well for builders, even though there's a lag. I believe that really helps. And I believe that, understanding what the free pass did for the network of Ethereum and how it hockey sticked on the day of the speech really proves that regardless, there was adoption before that, and I certainly acknowledge that, but that's because it was smart contracts. But it is now being sued over the fact that it's a security because it's a smart contract under proof of stake. So these things, even though they had an early, robust jump in development, have yet to come home to roost when it comes to legal and regulatory clarity. So I'll take where we're at today, even with all the pain we've had to go through to get here. But with all of that being said and kind of clearly understood, we have a huge amount of speculators in this space. And if you are in this space and hearing our voice to some degree, you are a speculative investor. What are you doing listening to me for? You know what I mean? Because this is what I do, right? So, but now we see with the conference and what we've been able to do with the marketing of Digital Asset Investor and myself being the sole marketers here, now it's time to see if we can bridge this gap to benefit the other side of this market, which is innovators, because innovators have to create on the ledger in order to provide a foundation or a bed for market makers and participants to come together. And that's what we want to do now, is to bring that and open that door and say, come on in. Right? And bring the innovators and the builders and developers in and plug them in to the retail market here and see where we can find a pairing. Adam, your thoughts?
Yeah. So, I'll go back to what you said about the space about the lawsuit. I think the lawsuit really, we've talked to a lot of VCs and investors, and the lawsuit absolutely had a big impact. On the impression of the XRPL and like Ripple in general. And that really hindered a lot of growth and a lot of VC money going into the space. So now we're seeing that, most of the money that's going to incubate a lot of these projects are coming from Ripple, and a lot of VCs haven't wanted to dip their toes into the market yet. So it's created kind of a hindrance to the market. You don't have this flywheel effect of VC money incubating and growing these projects. So it's been a really difficult struggle for a lot of projects and a lot of businesses to try to get going on the ledger and try to scale up those businesses and getting to a point to where they need to have some sustainability. So I think that's been one of the biggest struggles just for, everybody, absolutely. Like even for us with Cafe and everybody, like we still struggle with that.
Yes, and it's because of where we are at this point in time, right? It's all of these, there's many different elements and layers that play into this. And what we want to do, our intention to do, is to work towards finding a solution to create more resources for builders and developers to tap into this entire audience and community. And as you know, I don't have to tell you, there are many people from all walks of life at these events, and you can't know that unless you're at these events. And I don't mind saying, the level and quality of people at these events are remarkable. I mean, you meet some remarkable, beautiful people. I mean, they're polite, they're kind, they're nice, they are engaging, they want to know what you're doing. And if you have people there creating those kinds of conversations, you don't know what you would find, let alone the idea of us building out an actual leg or arm of the conference to serve the builders and developers so we can continue to go. I said this to you off camera, and I absolutely mean this. I believe that XRP and the ledger and all of this was created in the understanding that the current financial system is exhausted. It is exhausted, and it needs help. It needs to be transferred over to a new market infrastructure platform. There are vulnerabilities. It's antiquated. We know all of these things, right? So this transition is super key to make this happen. And understanding that macro goal is how some of us get to where we believe it can go 4 or 5 digits, right? And none of us have ever said it's next Tuesday. I just believe ultimately that's the goal. And from what I understand about Ripple, that goal hasn't changed. What has changed from Ripple's point of view is the verbiage they used to use. They used to use the same verbiage that we all use in the influencer world, right? But it scared regulators is my estimation of what I've seen. So they've had to change that verbiage and just get down to how it all works so a regulator can understand it. And when a regulator understands it, I think they get it, just like FinCEN got it, right? In 2015 and called it a virtual currency. And I think we'll get through this case and they'll understand that too. And looking beyond getting that resolution to where it can operate and complement inside the financial system, there's a moment coming where this is the time right now to start building. This is the time right now to start innovating. Because for the people who don't believe the macro idea of this, and for the people who do believe the macro idea of this is all going to a place where clarity is the log jam. And when the log jam is open, we're all going to have the opportunity to make it whatever you believed it to be. Right?
Yeah, so I just wanted to say, going to the conference was really eye-opening. I believe, out of all the, I've been to a lot of major Web3 conferences and whatnot, and this one in particular it just blew me away by the sheer amount of diversity among the community. And, so a lot of times you don't get that at those other, blockchain Web3 conferences. It's usually like a certain demographic or a certain age, and this was just people of all ages, and it was just awesome to see. And another thing I noted when David Schwartz was speaking, he asked a question about how many people had used any kind of dApp or any kind of product that was built on top of the ledger, and I think I only saw maybe 2 people raise their hand in the whole crowd, which was really surprising to me. So there's a sheer lack of awareness of like who's building and what is being built and how can people utilize their XRP or participate in some of these things like the AMM or like the DeFi and gaining some yield and whatnot on their XRP. And I think and I totally get it how there's no awareness, because a lot of these amendments there was a sheer explosion just with the NFTs and some of these other ledger amendments that happened during the lawsuit. And obviously, there's still part of the lawsuit going on right now, but and I think that kind of hindered some of the awareness as well.
I completely agree. And it was alarming to see that little bit of hands go up, because I thought to myself instantly, I was like, wait a minute, guys, put your hands up. I know more than that have the Zaman wallet, right? It's like, that's the ledger. If you have a Zaman wallet, you know what I mean? Raise your damn hand. But it is a disconnect. People don't quite understand, right? But and to that point, and I would share this, I would share this understanding. These are speculative retail investors that are in the room, right? And a lot of people, are trying to get those people to be developers. They should be building. But that's like wishing that a motorcycle was a boat, right? You know what I mean? What we need to do is tap into that resource for what it has to offer. And what it has to offer are
Absolutely.
people who believe in this network. And if they believe in the network, they just may believe in your project, Adam, and they may believe in yours or someone else's or ABC project and want to put something behind that and work out something between the two of them. You know what I mean? Or the 4 or 5 of them, whoever it is. And that is what has me excited here because look, I'm a baby VC in this space, right? And a speculative investor. I don't have big VC money, but I'm doing what I can. And one of my core tenets on my channel is stacking my pennies next to their dollars. I'm trying to mimic what the larger players are doing with my small wallet, right? So, but I see that opportunity at scale for people to participate in, hey, you want to be more than just a retail investor? How about striking up a deal with Adam and what he's doing and coming together and getting some terms and agreements and helping him blow up his idea because it struck you right where you thought it needed to be, right? You're like, that's the guy. What they're doing, what matters. And if we stop looking to try to contort each other's mindset and how we believe this should be looked at, which I think is harmful in itself, right? That is harmful. And I want to say a disclaimer because I know you're not able to follow this space all the time, Adam. I know that. But there has been a false narrative created of, it's all about the builders. And that narrative to me has upset me a little bit or it made me frustrated, I should say, because I know that there have been some influencers in this community who don't deserve to be named, but the truth is that there was a Phoenix Fire token scam that took place in this community. It was predatory. It took advantage of the XRP community. It was extremely harmful, and investing is harmful enough because there's no guarantees in investing, man. You're not going to win everything you invest in, right? And there's enough losses we're going to take just by default of being an investor. So when I see something predatory like that Phoenix Fire token scam that happened, and then a narrative created that it's all about the builders, it's clear to me that some of them are hiding behind that narrative to pump and dump scam tokens. And although they may have found some legal way to do that, I find it to be unethical and immoral to do to your own audience or this XRP community. Some people might get altitude sickness from the righteous jump I just made, but that's the truth, right? Because one thing I'm very certain of is when I'm selling on my channel, I'm clear that I'm selling and people know it. And I don't sell anything that I don't use myself. And the other thing is when I speculate, which is often and every day, I'm very clear that it's my speculation. And I try to root that based on something that's happened that day or something we've learned from before. So I feel a great sense of responsibility at 53 years old. They treat I don't have fans. I have audience members. They're my equal. I'm not above them. They're not below me. They are my equal. And I want the rest of this community to know that when you hear contorted, twisted, short clips of me so it can create a false narrative, whoever's doing that should probably be cut out or exposed in this space for what they're doing because it's harmful. It doesn't serve any of us for the good. And anyone wants to know what I'm interested in doing for this community need to look at XRP Las Vegas and understand that it is all inclusive and it is all for the XRP community.
Yeah, absolutely. We've always prided ourselves on being a cornerstone of the community and really caring about our community. And I think when you brought up the token thing, that was, one of the ethical concerns of us, not having a token. We didn't want to have a token. We didn't want to sell that onto our community. We just wanted to provide a really good product and to sell, solutions to people and something that people can use. And we feel like, there's a lot of tokens that were released to basically force utility onto the community and basically fundraise for those. And, that's one of the last things that we wanted to do with our community. So absolutely, that really resonates with me.
Yeah, Adam, and kudos to you for that, because I really think it speaks to the integrity of you and what you're doing and the projects that you're involved in. because it is, you know, like a very, very fine line, because even if you don't get in trouble for it today, I worry about, well, what happens a year or 2 years from now? I mean, you know, the people at these
Yeah,
agencies,
3, 4, even 5 years from
it'll
now.
come
Yeah.
back from you. I mean, look at Ethereum. How many years they got the free pass, and now their ass is on the chopping block. So
Yep.
if anything I've learned, it's stay away from those things until there's absolute clarity. And once there is clarity, you won't believe what I'll tell people I think is really amazing, that I'm so excited about. But I dare not touch it, right, in a manner like that until I feel like everybody's safe enough to look at it. That's the real thing. And I want to encourage everybody to understand that. We're going to try to find the best way to move forward. I want all the developers to come on in, contact me, reach out to me, because we are going to do great things, and we're going to do them together, Adam. And I appreciate you taking the time today.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me. And, you know, I just want to say, like, I think it's great what you're doing. And, you know, I want to help bring everybody together, you know, developers, investors, speculators, the whole community. You know, let's bring them all together.
It takes a village, Adam. It takes a village. And I don't care if they got here from riddles or if they were investing since they were 9. You know what I mean? Just get here. And the fact that you're here means that you're a part of this, and we should all be celebrating together and looking to how we can elevate one another to accomplish our goals, which at the end of the day is mass adoption and helping the XRP Ledger really underpin the new world of finance. Adam Kagy from XRPCafe. Thank you, my brother. Don't go anywhere.